Any thoughts on the whole Willow versus Mercedes thing? I think they've laid foundations for Willow to really have a pretty intense story over the course of the summer. And I think this match is going to be where that all kind of starts. She got over huge in that segment last week with Mercedes Monet. And when
Right.
she gave her the doctor bomb through the table, people were going absolutely nuts. When I hear Willow talk and I see her fire up, it's so endearing. And it's almost like Popeye once he eats the spinach, he just
Yeah.
bulks up and gets ready to kick some ass. And I know when I watch Willow, that's what I'm seeing. And for Mercedes, man, it feels like this has to be a standout performance for her. She hasn't wrestled in a year. So this is a big one.
It is a big one, and I'm sure that there's pressure that she is feeling because she really does have to produce when it comes to this match. But one thing you're saying about Willow is I know you've been a big advocate of Willow for a long time, and I have first met her when she came to AEW. Like she really does have like a contagious personality, very much a contagious positive attitude in many ways, and that's something that I am big on, and I dig that very much about her. So she's always when she's around, you always want to have a smile on your face because she just kind of lights up the room and she wants to make everybody feel happy and she's in a good mood and she's positive and she seems very productive in everything she does. So yes, she is very easy to pull for, and I am definitely pulling for her and her success.
But when you're naturally a good person and you're a baby face and people want to cheer for you, it's I'll ask your perspective on this. I'd have to imagine it can be a little difficult to dig into that more aggressive and rah side of you because it's almost easy to just go out there, smile, wave, and get cheered. But she had to turn up the intensity to really make people care about this match. Is that a challenge when you're a babyface like that?
I mean, you have to be. That's one of the first lessons Michael Hayes really tried to nail into our minds is that you can go out and people can like you can be handsome, you can be attractive, you can be charismatic, whatever it may be. So but if they don't believe, if they don't see you beat someone up, if they don't believe that you can beat their ass if they got into a fight with you, then you're not going to be seen as credible. And he said, like, you guys do all these pretty and cool moves. He said, especially you, Jeff, but like I want to see you and Matt be more aggressive. I want to see you be more vicious. Like I want to see you do that poetry in motion. Then Matt like takes his head off with a clothesline, and then you get on top of him and beat the shit out of him. You're on top of him, grounding and pounding. And I mean, those were truly some of the best tips we'd ever gotten. And I think the same thing applies to Willow because I think people can see characters that they like and that are good, but if they don't seem credible from a physical standpoint and don't seem like they could in real life be someone who is aggressive and could whip someone else's ass, then I don't think the audience and the fans will not buy into you as much as they would without knowing that you can, or without believing that you can, because you have shown them that on your television programming. And there's a very true sentiment to that, because there are guys that go out there that seems like they're just doing moves and people never really attach to them. They never really they're never able to connect with them in that emotional way where they truly believe in them and they show credibility. And I think that's why we'll need to tune it up like that. And sometimes you have to if you're a babyface, especially someone who's very likable, you have to show a mean streak and aggressive streak, because people have to look at you and they still, in the back of their mind, even if it's subconsciously, they have to go like, well, I like this person a lot, but I would hate to make them mad because I think they'd whip my ass.
Yeah, my gut says, and my AEW track record with my gut,
I
it's
was
pretty
pretty good.
good.
You think on the same line of Tony Khan in the audience, so you do very well in your predictions.
My gut says that we're going to see a very similar storyline with her, akin to what we saw with Hangman Page a few years ago, where she's going to lose it all only to overcome her hurdles and make right on things in the end. Like she's got Stokely and Chris Statlander in her corner right now. I totally could see a scenario where both of them end up with Mercedes, or in some way costing Willow at least. And then it becomes a path for Willow to have to find herself, be vulnerable, and overcome, the boss, Mercedes Monet. I think that would be a really great story to tell, to build a top tier babyface in Willow Nightingale. So I guess we'll see. But I do think, Matt, it's very important, and I'd love your thoughts on this. It's very important for Mercedes Monet now to take that next step and be that again, the term, the final boss, where that women's division runs through her.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I mean, especially because she has been presented with all this hype, all this glamour, and all this glitz, and she's going to have to produce. And it is what it is. You know, Sasha, Mercedes Moné back in the day, you know, would always come through and produce. But like you said, she'd been hurt, and it's been a long time since she wrestled. So I'm sure there's pressure on her to really produce like she used to.